There are still a few costs we haven't included in our analysis, so let's get those into the cost tab. What remains to be included? Well, the initial cost of the diesel generator, which we've estimated at $10,000 installed. That generator is only going to last roughly 25,000 hours, and it's going to need overhaul or replacement after about 3 years. And we estimate that that will cost about $6,000. The batteries for the photovoltaic system will also need to be replaced. If we've used high quality lead acid batteries, we may be able to get 10 years out of them. And lead acid batteries, unlike lithium ion batteries, are a mature technology, and therefore their costs are not declining. So we can use the initial cost of the battery as the replacement cost. We should also factor in inverter replacement. I'm going to say every 13 years, and that may seem a bit strange to pick 13 there. I mean, why not 12? Why not 15? Well, typically you're going to need to replace the inverter every 10 to 15 years. But if we put in 12 here and we have a 25-year project, we're going to see replacement in year 24, not just year 12. And that to me seems unlikely. So let's just put in year 13. That way we get one replacement over the lifetime of the project. So pause this video, complete the cost tab, and then unpause to see the solution. And for completing the cost tab, remember that you need to get your costs that have already been included on the energy tab over to the cost tab. And you can do that most easily by looking at a level 1 analysis, copying down the costs that are found there, then opening a level 2 tab. The initial costs will no longer be included in the level 2 analysis, so just write them in, include them as a line item in the level 2 analysis, and then add in the above mentioned initial and replacement costs. Here we are on the cost tab. It's in level 1, and there are the initial costs that we've already included through the energy tab. These will disappear when we go to level 2. The annual costs and the annual savings will continue to be there, but on level 2 these 39,753 have disappeared. Why? Because RedScreen's assuming we want to break down that lumped cost into different line items. We don't actually want to do that in this particular case, but we're just going to copy the cost over. And you might ask, well, why did we have to use level 2 then? Why can't we just include our costs in level 1? Because level 2 includes a section for periodic costs, and that's where we can put our replacement of the genset, of the battery, and of the inverter, which occur every X years, where X is a number larger than 1. So add in a line item here for the power system, proposed case power system. This is a cost viewed from the perspective of the proposed case. There is one system that needs to be purchased, and as we saw on level 1, the costs that we have so far included amount to $39,753. However, from the perspective of the proposed case, we have avoided the cost of having to purchase the diesel genset in the base case. So this is going to be a credit. And that credit is for one diesel genset installed, costing $10,000. And this, of course, then is subtracted from the $39,753 to get the incremental initial cost of the proposed case versus the base case, which is what we want. Here we have the annual and O&M costs for the photovoltaic system, and here we have the combined savings for the fuel and for the maintenance and operation costs of the genset in the base case. Here, for periodic costs, we're going to have to do some work. The first thing is we're going to put in base case genset replacement or overhaul. And this is a credit, right? From the perspective of the proposed case, this is a credit. We're looking for the incremental costs of the proposed case versus the base case. So this is a base case cost, it's a credit. And we're going to assume that every 3 years, so that's roughly 25,000 hours, we will have to pay $6,000 US for this. There are also some things we need to include from the proposed case. Notably is the battery, proposed case battery replacement. And this is a cost, and it's going to be every 10 years. And we're going to have to refer back to the energy page to see the energy tab to see what costs, what the battery costs. And if I go to this page, I see that my inverter cost is $1,500, and the battery cost is $18,679. So I'm going to note those figures down. And just in case you're wondering how you could estimate the lifetime of this lead acid battery, you could go to the cost database here, and it contains some additional information like the cycle lifetime and the typical lifetime, 5 to 10 years. So we're being maybe a little bit on the optimistic side here for the lifetime of the battery, but we'll try that. Turning to the cost page, proposed case battery replacement, I'm going to put in that $18,679 that we just saw. And for the inverter replacement in the proposed case, I'm not going to worry too much about changes in price for the inverter. That is that pieces of power electronics tend to decline in price over time. I'm just going to put in the $1,500 here as a first guess there. In the next presentation, we'll wrap this up by looking at the emissions page and then completing the financial analysis.